Part 231. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2301. After being gentle, Murong left directly. Fang Fan stretched, changed his clothes, and then returned to the real world. At this moment Murong has already left, and with her cultivation base, it is not a big problem to hide her body and leave. In the evening, Fang Fan asks Xiao Liulai to have a meal in the exclusive cafeteria of Guangming Academy. After entering the exclusive cafeteria of Guangming Academy, Fang Fan realized how stupid he was before. There are too many delicacies here. The canteen is divided into 3 floors. On the first floor, there are some ordinary meals, all free of charge, basically the meat of some low-level monsters, nothing rare. There are some high-end ingredients on the second floor, and you need to use star cores to buy them here. There are not many kinds of meat for high-level monsters. What barbecue, fried meat, everything that one expects to find. There's even some juice from lingonberries. As for the essence, it is actually still on the 3rd floor of the cafeteria. On the 3rd floor of the cafeteria, at a glance, all the flesh and blood of the descendants of divine beasts are placed. Even dragon liver and phoenix gall. You can also see some dragon meat, but of course not too many. And consumption in the 3 floors can only use credits. The star core doesn't work at all. The food on the 3rd floor of the cafeteria is not only delicious, but also has great benefits for the cultivation of practitioners. This is the key of the key. A plate of red dragon meat, 100 credits. Oh my god. It's equivalent to 1 million, no. It's 2 million low-grade star cores. Too expensive? Xiao Liulai glanced at the price, her eyes widened immediately, and her face was full of shock, which seemed to make people tremble deep in their hearts. And this Suanwu carapace soup, which was sold for a high price of 1,000 credits. Wouldn't it cost thousands of credits to eat a meal here? That's tens of millions of low-grade star cores. Xiao Liulai shrank her neck, suddenly frightened. Look at you, are you freshmen? Freshmen dare to come to the 3rd floor for consumption? You really can't control yourself. I advise you to go to the 1st floor to eat free food, don't be ashamed here. At this time, a young man with a full beard came over, and while talking, the sarcasm on his face grew more and more. Xiao Liulai seemed a little dazed when someone said that suddenly, and didn't know what to say for a while. Brother BA, I want dragon meat, I want to eat dragon meat. What did you say, you want to take someone to eat dragon meat? This is very suitable, a seductively dressed woman next to this young bearded man exclaimed excitedly, that seductiveness is deeply rooted. Good 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 good. Let's eat dragon meat. Give me a good performance tonight. Tisk tisk tisk, I like how you look up. Ha ha ha. The face of the young bearded man showed a gleam of excitement, and he waved his hand as he spoke. Little sister, if you are willing, you can also eat dragon meat today. The young bearded man looked at Xiao Liulai, his eyes glistening with disgust. Roll. It's just a plate of dragon meat, isn't this just an appetizer? You really regard it as a main dish? No, is that really it? Fang Fan strode forward, talking with a calm expression on his face. Boy! Look at you, are you a freshman? The new students are so crazy. What do you think you are? Can you afford the things here? Poor ghost. The young bearded man was full of ridicule while talking. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2302. All windows, give me all your dishes. Eat the whole table if you want to eat. Let's have 10 plates of dragon meat as an appetizer. Fang Fan waved his hand and said casually. There are almost 10 windows in front of me, and there are at least 5 or 6 dishes in each window, that is to say, there are at least 50 dishes. The price of a dish basically ranges from 50 credits to 1000 credits, and an average dish costs 300 credits. 50 dishes, that is 15,000 credits. Converted according to the price of the school, that is 150 million low-grade star cores. If it is based on the normal market price, 15,000 credits are worth 300 million low-grade star cores. Hundreds of millions of star cores, one meal? How awesome! Xiao Liyulai on the side pursed her red lips obediently, with a little arrogant look on her face. She knew that Fang Fan was trying to save face for her. So at this time, she must not tear down the stage. Boy! Do you know how many credits this takes? Stop slapping your face and pretending to be fat. If you can't pay at that time, you will be expelled from the school. While the young bearded man was talking, the expression on his face gradually became vicious. This pay papa was slapped in the face. I can't bear it for a minute. Just tens of thousands of credits? Can't afford it? Your vision doesn't end here, does it? I don't have a net worth of hundreds of thousands of credits, so I have the nerve to come to the third floor for dinner. You really don't have one, do you? That's it? Are you willing to bring your sister to eat dragon meat? Can you eat it? Fang Fan shrugged, with an indifferent expression on his face. While talking, he immediately treated him in the same way as he did. Just as arrogant as this bearded young man was just now, he is now desolate. Brother B.A. I want to eat the whole meal too. Didn't you say you loved me? How about you order all the dishes for me? In this way, in this case, you can do whatever you want tonight. The seductive woman standing next to the bearded young man was talking, and then her eyes lit up, and the smile on the corner of her mouth was vividly displayed. The corner of the bearded young man's mouth twitched, wishing he could twitch his mouth wide. Bitch! Don't you have any clues in your heart? It's all written by tens of thousands of people. It's fine if I spend 100 credits to buy a plate of dragon meat to sleep with you for one night. How many tens of thousands of credits do you want me to spend? What do you think? Roll. Just a plate of dragon meat, eat it or not. Are you so stupid? What do people believe? This kid is clearly a poor man, so he's just pretending to be aggressive here. I want to see how this kid ends up today. Hee hee. If I leave now, this kid will definitely give back those dragon livers and phoenix skulls. Now I just look at him like this, and I just watch him retreat. How arrogant he is now, he will be so arrogant later. Grandson. While the bearded young man was talking, the look of resentment on his face grew more and more. He was sure that a freshman like Fang Fan had no spending power at all. Fang Fan didn't bother to talk to him at all. He went directly to the various windows and swiped all the required credits with his school card. Everything seemed extremely easy. From beginning to end, there has never been a situation where it cannot be brushed out. Soon, the full banquet will be arranged. Dragon liver and phoenix gall. Suanwua carapace soup. Braised Thai sui pork ribs. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2303. Isn't it only tens of thousands of credits? You can eat it all. I don't know if I don't eat it. After eating it, Fang Fan felt that what he ate before was nothing. These foods are not only exquisite in ingredients, but also extremely good in taste. Although there are 50 or 60 dishes, they gradually bottomed out under Fang Fan and Xiao Liyulai's comprehensive sweep. Fang Fan could even clearly feel the qi and blood surging all over his body, and those energies were surging rapidly in his body, inexplicably making him feel refreshed. If you can eat this level of ingredients every day, even if you don't take the initiative to practice, I'm afraid you can be promoted in a year or so. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, thinking this in his heart, then nodded silently. But if you think about it carefully, this possibility is really not very big. This is worth hundreds of millions of low-grade star cores for a single meal. Who can withstand it? Seeing Fang Fan and Xiao Liulai eating happily, the bearded young man couldn't sit still. At this moment, he looked at the lonely plate of dragon meat in front of him, and felt an inexplicable sense of shame. This is a slap in the face. And it's still crackling. Asshole. Whirring. This is clearly to find fault on purpose. How could a freshman have so many credits? The bearded young man gritted his teeth, and his teeth were chattering while talking. Brother BA, I also want to drink suanwu carapace soup. I still want to eat braised kyanki meat. There are so many delicious foods on the table over there. Brother BA, as you said, be nice to me. The enchanting woman sitting next to the bearded young man licked her lips while talking. If so many rare ingredients are eaten, maybe she can be promoted to a higher level. Thinking of this, the excited expression on the face of the enchanting and charming woman is particularly vivid. Of course, she would definitely not be willing to ask her to pay such a high fee, and besides, she couldn't afford it. At this time, such a kaisi is actually needed to help with the checkout. The enchanting woman glanced at the bearded man beside her, and seeing his angry face, she immediately knew that her chance had come. As long as you can seize this opportunity, it may be a chance to take off. This take-off will completely surpass everything. Good for you. I'm so nice to you. Damn it. Didn't you see that labor and management are bothering you? Want to treat labor and capital as a winner? Do you really think labor and capital are fools? Roll. Snapped. A loud slap came, and the expression on the enchanting woman's face became more and more treacherous. The scene once became extremely austere, and everyone's eyes focused on it, and gradually began to change. This wave after wave, what kind of trouble do you want to make? Do you dare to hit my old lady? Grass. Poor ghost. A poor ghost also wants to sleep with my old lady. Snapped. The enchanting woman's complexion gradually became gloomy and cold, and now nothing works, only the slap is the most important. With the slap, you will feel extremely refreshed inexplicably. This feeling has been so strong from beginning to end. Because the enchanting woman was too excited, her movements were a little too big, and then the powder on her face began to fall down. This wave after wave is very strange. On the third floor of the cafeteria, the two of them just started doing it on the spot. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2304. In the end, it was the relevant law enforcement officers from the university who came and pulled them away, otherwise they didn't know what would happen. Fang Fan and Xiao Liulai were still enjoying the delicious food and never slacked off. By the way, I can also watch a good show. This trip to the cafeteria is a bloodbath. At the end of the meal, Fang Fan and Xiao Liulai's belly could not help but emerge. Although it is said that high-level practitioners digest food very quickly, it also depends on the amount of energy in the food. And these ingredients such as dragon liver and phoenix gallbladder, suanwu soup, tai sui pork ribs, kyanki meat, etc., the energy is in an explosive state. Obviously, it will take a little time to consume this energy. I'm going to break through. Xiao Liulai's face suddenly changed, and a gleam of light flickered in her eyes. The current little Liulai is in the quasi-sacred realm, just like Fang Fan's cultivation base. If he continues to advance, he will go through the thunder disaster in the sanctuary and reach the one-star sanctuary. The sanctuary thunder tribulation is coming soon. Speed to cross the tribulation. I also eat a lot, why is there no sign of promotion? Fang Fan curled his lips, looked at the remaining ingredients, and immediately packed them all up. These high-grade ingredients are high-grade pills. In Guangming Academy, it is common to encounter some students who suddenly want to be promoted, especially when they are promoted to such a high level. There may be various Holy Land thunder disasters, so special arrangements are made in the academy. Opened a place to cross the catastrophe. In the land of crossing the catastrophe, there are all kinds of elixir for repairing the body, and a lot of means to protect against sky thunder are prepared. These are provided free of charge to the practitioners who are about to cross the catastrophe. Some inherent rewards. But even if there are many students in the school, the land of crossing tribulation is not opened every day. After all, it is so difficult to advance to a higher level. At the entrance of the land of tribulation. Who wants to cross the catastrophe? A gray-haired old man standing at the door suddenly rushed over, then looked at Fang Fan and said, "She." Fang Fan pointed to Xiao Liulai, and then said, "Crossing the sanctuary thunder tribulation." "Oh. That's okay. Go, there's everything in there, just take it yourself, but you can't fill your pockets, it's all recorded. Thunder tribulation in the sanctuary is not a big problem." The gray-haired old man shook the dust off his clothes, said casually, and then collapsed on the ground, looking like he was doing nothing. Fang Fan and Xiao Liulai looked at each other in astonishment. There are quite a few weirdos in this academy. Fang Fan. Lu Li gritted her teeth and looked at Fang Fan. While talking, there was a strange light in her eyes. Looking at Xiao Liulai's cowardly eyes, Fang Fan felt inexplicably fond of him. Xiao Liulai regarded him as the closest person, so when encountering something, Fang Fan immediately thought of him. Where? Fang Fan was inexplicably moved, and then nodded silently, sending him a cheering look. Normally, there wouldn't be much problem with Sanctuary Thunder Tribulation. There may be some problems with the 9-level Sanctuary Thunder Tribulation, but generally speaking, triple and 6th level Sanctuary Thunder Tribulations are more common. Boom. Rumbling. As Xiao Liulai stepped into the land of crossing the catastrophe, thunderbolts erupted in the sky. The thunder group gathered, and it seemed that some phantoms of strange beasts could be seen in the thunder group. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2305. At the beginning, the situation was relatively normal. After watching the whole process, it was also in the normal stage. But gradually, the situation suddenly changed a little. That thunder group is actually starting to split. Then it instantly split into 10 smaller thunder groups. Under Fang Fan's gaze, these 10 smaller thunder clusters were absorbing the power of the surrounding sky thunder, and then continued to erupt. In less than a minute, the energy contained in these small thunderballs was stronger than the original big thunderball. In these 10 newly synthesized thunder groups, the crazy power of thunder and lightning is gathering, and then a series of sky thunders are directly displayed. Is this the rhythm of 10 thunders bombarding together? Xiao Liulai, who was in the place of crossing the catastrophe, looked up at the 10 thunder catastrophes above her head, more or less dazed. This kind of thing is unprecedented. Fang Fan's complexion gradually sank. Obviously, something happened. The situation is unstable at the moment, very unstable. Fang Fan let out a mouthful of turbid air, and crazy thoughts gathered in his mind. Why would accidents happen around him again and again? It seems that people who are closer to him will be made things difficult when they cross the tribulation. Is it because I am a virtual wild god? So I was banned by the gods. But everyone who has a good relationship with me has been blacklisted. Or, the invisible hand has been working. He tried to destroy everything in front of him. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and there were flashes of light in them. What should come, will always come. Let it all explode in full swing. Problem occurs. Senior. Fang Fan looked at the gray-haired old man who was already shouting like thunder, then bit his body and said, "Ah! Where is the thunder? Isn't it just a sanctuary thunder tribulation? Why panic? In the land of transcendence tribulation of Guangming Academy, even the 9-level sanctuary thunder tribulation has a certain chance of surviving. Don't panic. You young people, you just don't have the patience." I see AO. The gray-haired old man stretched his waist. He originally had an indifferent attitude, but gradually, the expression on his face changed, and his body trembled violently unnaturally. Black lines gathered on his forehead. Everyone was dumbfounded. Something big happened. In the sky above the land of transcending tribulation, 10 thunder groups lined up, and 10 thunders were about to rain down directly. Sending down 10 thunderbolts at once is simply unheard of in ancient times. This is the sanctuary thunder tribulation. Boy, what's going on with your partner? Don't cheat on me, old Gentoo. The gray-haired old man gasped. He could clearly feel the burst of energy. If the thunder fell like this these days, the one who crossed the catastrophe would definitely die, and his place of crossing the catastrophe would be completely destroyed. You are the full-time staff of the land of transcending tribulation, you don't even know what's going on. How do I know? You are from the land of tribulation, haven't you seen this scene? Fang Fan frowned, and then asked. I'm here to take over the job today. I'm not skilled in this business. Problem occurs. I'm going to call someone. The gray-haired old man took a deep breath, then took out a talisman, and burned it directly in the air, and then related information spread out. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2306. This situation is no longer up to the individual to decide. That's too late. The sky thunder in these 10 thunder groups is about to take shape. Looking at this power, at least it is at the level above the holy level. Tianli above the level of the 10 saints, and even reached the demigod level. Once it is destroyed, everything will be obliterated. Fang Fan took a deep breath. His eyes flickered with a different kind of light. Then what to do? This land of crossing the catastrophe was spent a lot of money when it was established. If this is destroyed, the school will suffer a great loss. And that girl, she must not be able to withstand such a powerful blow. Something really happened. Boy, I advise you to stay away first. Don't be hurt by then. The gray-haired old man, Lao Gentoo, sighed with emotion, and then persuaded Fang Fan. At the moment, it seems that this is indeed the safest solution. No one expected the situation to develop to this point. Total collapse is just around the corner. If you don't quickly control it, then something really big will happen. Senior, you go first. I can't go. Fang Fan snorted secretly, and then his body flew directly into the land of crossing the catastrophe. At this moment, Xiao Liulai was completely in a state of panic, and she had never seen such a situation before. After seeing Fang Fan enter, he immediately regarded Fang Fan as the only one to rely on. Wu! Fang Fan, why are you here? Thunder is so scary. Am I going to die? Xiao Liulai clenched her silver teeth. While talking, her thoughts gradually churned. It must be a lie to say that I have no feelings at all at this moment. The current situation has completely deteriorated. If you are not careful, you will lose everything. Who can stand this? Die. No. There is absolutely no such possibility. Don't worry, with me here, nothing will happen. Fang Fan looked up at the 10 thunderbolts in the sky. The energy erupting from these 10 thunderbolts became more and more intense. The directness of Tianli gradually increased from 1 zhang to 10 zhang, and then to 100 zhang. This situation seems to have an unbelievable feeling. A thunderstorm with a diameter of 100 feet, I have experienced it before. It was like this when the hell three-headed dog and their three gods crossed the sanctuary thunder disaster. I didn't expect it to repeat itself now. In the past, each divine pet only had to fight against one thunderbolt with a diameter of 100 feet, but now Xiao Liulai has to fight against 10 thunderbolts. There must be a problem here. If Xiao Liulai wasn't a member of my female slave system, and she didn't have such a close relationship with me, if she went through the thunder disaster in the sanctuary normally, it would be absolutely impossible for this to happen. The black hand behind the scenes is at work again. Don't let me catch who you are, or I'll let you die without a burial. Fang Fan clenched his teeth. As he spoke, murderous intent gathered in his eyes. What should come, will always come. Let it all explode. While thinking, Fang Fan comforted Xiao Liulai's emotions. After all, it was all because of him. Xiao Liulai's emotions were gradually relieved, but in an instant, her face suddenly showed a look of panic. Wrong. You have nothing to do with this Tianli. You stay here with me, and the sky thunder will also bombard you. Fang Fan, hurry up. I can't drag you down. I absolutely don't want to see anything happen to you. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2307. Xiao Liulai couldn't help showing a look of astonishment on her face, and after all her thoughts recovered, the sense of astonishment on her face became more and more intense, and she quickly followed up. What time is it now? There really can't be any surprises. Seeing Xiao Liulai push herself with all her strength to let her leave, Fang Fan felt an inexplicable sense of warmth in his heart. Rest assured. I won't let anything happen to you. Whatever, we will fight together. Besides, do you think I will be afraid of these thunders? When my three battle pets were crossing the sanctuary thunder tribulation before, they encountered sky thunders worse than this. Did you see that I was scared at that time? There was a slight smile on the corner of Fang Fan's mouth, and he nodded silently as he spoke. He still has this confidence, but he has to cut the flesh again. The 30 billion low-grade star cores that I ate at Murongyu's before have not yet warmed up, and I have to confess another 10 billion. Sanctuary Thunder Tribulation Exemption Card, you can be exempted from the Sanctuary Thunder Tribulation once. The base price of the auction is 5 billion low-grade star cores. Each increase in price must not be less than 100 million low-grade star cores. One price is 10 billion low-grade star cores. Stock, 2. Fang Fan's consciousness penetrated into the auction system, and his eyes shone with a special light. The reason why the hell three-headed dog and other three divine pets survived before was naturally thanks to the Sanctuary Thunder Tribulation Exemption Card. A price of tens of billions of low-grade star cores, no deception. Expensive is a bit expensive, but as long as the effect is good, the problem is not too big. When Fang Fan bought it for the first time, there were still 5 in stock, and now there are only 2 left. Buy a Sanctuary Thunder Tribulation Exemption Card for one price. Ding. After deducting tens of billions of low-grade star cores, the bid for a Sanctuary Thunder Tribulation Exemption Card was successful. Ding. A Sanctuary Thunder Tribulation Exemption Card has arrived. There was a system prompt in his ear. Fang Fan nodded silently, with the card in his hand. I have the world, I can hold on for a while. Outside the Tribulation Land, the old Gentoo who was temporarily in charge of guarding the Tribulation Land was inexplicably moved. It's a really temperamental little guy. It's a pity, I am destined to die on the spot after encountering such a strange thunder calamity. What a pity. The aptitude looks pretty good. Old Gentoo's lips were pursed, and his eyes gradually changed from cloudy to crystal clear. Those clear eyes seem to be able to hold the stars and the ocean. Everything is everything, and it is displayed silently, inexplicably, giving people a sense of shock in consciousness. Rumbling. Thunder roared again. Because of Fang Fan's joining, Tianli seems to be stronger this day. 10 demigod level, even surpassing demigod level thunders are suddenly erupting. In the land of crossing the catastrophe, Fang Fan clenched Xiao Liyulai's hands, waiting for the moment of extinction. Click. 10 thunders landed at the same time, and pieces of debris flew around. Wherever the thunder goes, everything will be annihilated. The equipment originally used to reduce the thunder in the land of crossing the catastrophe is useless at all, and it can't even stop this powerful thunder for a millisecond. 10 thunderbolts with a diameter of 100 feet fell, covering the entire land of crossing the catastrophe and even the surrounding space. When the 100-foot diameter thunder was about to hit the ground, the cards in Fang Fan's hands suddenly shone brightly. Sanctuary Thunder Tribulation Exemption card, start to show the operation. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2308. The 100-foot diameter thunder that was supposed to be directly pressed down suddenly rebounded when it was about to touch Fang Fan and Xiao Liyulai. Whoosh! Tianli suddenly returned the same way, faster and more convenient than before. Everything happened between lightning and flint, as if it was fleeting, giving people a sense of panic and anxiety in the mind, and the picture at this moment is inexplicably scalp-numbing. This wave after wave of operations is too stupid. The old Gentoo, who was standing in the distance feeling dejected, suddenly widened his eyes and was completely shocked. This. Has his presbyopia gotten worse again? How did he see some metaphysical events? At the end of the endless void, a certain temple. No. Why is it like this again? Asshole. Asshole. Who the hell? Who wants to oppose me, Caesar? I want to kill him. I must kill him. Boom. Puff. Cough, 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 cough. In the temple, a middle-aged man in a blood-colored robe protruded with a mouthful of blood, and his face became more and more distorted, as if he wanted to wipe everything in front of him into ashes. Such a painful feeling made him want to roar directly. Everything returns to silence. Fang Fan let go of Xiao Liyulai, who was tightly hugging her in his arms, and let her take a breath of fresh air around her. Fang Fan glanced around, feeling extremely desolate. Those facilities in the originally grand and magnificent land of crossing the catastrophe have already been completely destroyed by the terrifying sky thunder at this moment. That is to say, the few meters around Fang Fan and Xiao Liyulai are well preserved. In general, this place of crossing the catastrophe is considered useless. Who is calling? What happened in the land of crossing the catastrophe? Where is the guardian of the land of crossing the catastrophe? Why did it become like this here? Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, came late. As the deputy head in charge of the school's daily affairs, he didn't need to deal with small matters, but he still had to take care of general matters, such as matters involving the survival of the land of transcendence. He glanced at the past, and the land of crossing the catastrophe has become a bare piece. In the center of the tribulation land, it seems that two figures can still be seen. In a place far away from the land of crossing the catastrophe, I can see an old man dressed casually. Old Gentoo. Why are you here? Shui Wanren, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, obviously knew this old Gentoo, and the astonishment on his face became more and more intense as he was talking at the moment. I'll help take over to guard the land of transcending tribulation for a few days. Old Zhen shrugged his shoulders, and said very honestly, even in front of the deputy palace master in front of him, he didn't seem to be in awe. So you put the distress signal. This, you are also destroyed in this place of transcending tribulation. Old Gentoo, don't you, Don't you know how much resources the school needs to spend to build a place to cross the catastrophe? Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, took a deep breath, and while talking, the helpless look on his face became more and more. There is nothing to worry about. Wave after wave, it's all trouble. All kinds of trouble. Don't find fault, this matter has nothing to do with me, I don't have the ability to make such a big commotion. What's the matter, find them. Old Zhen pouted his lips, then pointed to the direction where Fang Fan and Xiao Liulai were standing. At this moment, Fang Fan and Xiao Liulai had already walked over hand in hand. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2309. Them. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, was stunned for a moment, and then gradually saw the appearance of Fang Fan and Xiao Liulai. Especially after seeing Fang Fan, Shui Wanren's face turned completely dark. Sure enough, he has nothing to do with this kid at all. It's obvious what's involved here. It's your kid again. I knew that with you kid around, nothing good would happen. Shui Wanren, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, was talking, and the corners of his mouth twitched unnaturally. There were black lines on his forehead, and he didn't know what to say at this moment. At this moment, the melon seeds in my head are about to explode. Explain. What happened? Wherever you go, you will be destroyed. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, said with a twitching corner of his mouth while expressing emotion. This wave after wave is so beautiful. A good place to cross the catastrophe is now destroyed. Master Deputy Palace Master, this has nothing to do with us, it can only show that the defense system of this land of crossing the catastrophe is too imperfect. Look at this material, it's all too bad. While talking, Fang Fan nodded deeply and said, since it is said that it is the place to cross the tribulation, then it is only natural for us to come to cross the tribulation. Who would have thought that the quality of the surrounding facilities was not up to standard, and then it became what it is now. It's nothing but nothing. It's nothing but nothing. My lord, Deputy Palace Master, I'd like to ask you to strengthen the relevant facilities of the transcending tribulation land. We have learned from the past, but our awareness is still very high, so naturally we will not seek compensation from the school. However, the safety hazards in this place of transcending tribulation are still too great, the Deputy Palace Master must be more cautious. While talking, Fang Fan nodded quickly, and the smile on the corner of his mouth was very real. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, felt a mouthful of thick phlegm stuck in his throat and couldn't get it out. Do you have the nerve to say so? And now you're putting the blame on me? Don't you really want to be so embarrassing? Shui Wanren supported his forehead, expressing that it was really difficult for him. What kind of monster is this? How can he encounter any weird things? Now that the land of crossing the catastrophe has been destroyed, on the contrary, it is plausible to say that it will not claim compensation from the school. Where is the face? Shui Wanren smiled wryly, then waved his hand with a headache on his face. Let's go, let's go. Don't let me see you again, kid. Wherever you go, you will bring disaster to me. As Shui Wanren spoke, he snorted coldly and prepared to leave. My lord, Deputy Palace Master, how should we deal with the affairs behind this land of crossing the catastrophe? Now this land of crossing the catastrophe has really become a barren land. What if there are students who come to cross the tribulation? Old Zhen stretched his head, and then rushed out from the side, talking, and then asked. What to do? How can I know what to do? How about cold salad? There's nothing that makes me worry. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, was talking and then complained deeply from the side. This wave after wave of incidents has come one after another, it is really unbearable. Report back to the school and find someone to fix it as much as possible. No. It should be said to be reconstruction. The corner of Shui Wanren's mouth twitched, the deputy head of Guangming Academy, and then strode away. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2310. Shui Wanren felt that if he stayed here for a while longer, he might be directly outraged and have a cerebral hemorrhage. Watching Shui Wanren leave, Fang Fan and Xiao Liyulai looked at each other, and then held hands, preparing to leave. But at this moment, Xiao Liyulai's complexion suddenly changed. I feel that my cultivation is going to improve again. Xiao Liyulai blinked her eyes, and the surprised expression on her face became more and more. After blocking back the 10 thunders with a diameter of hundreds of feet just now, even if Xiao Liyulai had completely survived the tribulation of thunder in the sanctuary, her cultivation base had directly surpassed the quasi-sacred realm and promoted to the 1-star sanctuary realm. Everything seemed logical. But now the situation has obviously changed again. For example, little Liyulai's cultivation base has changed. Under Fang Fan's gaze, her cultivation quickly jumped from a 1-star sanctuary to a 2-star sanctuary. This is far from over. And then continue to promote. Genius. Genius. Could it be that this girl is some kind of divine body? This is actually able to improve one after another after going through the thunder tribulation of the sanctuary. This is too abnormal. The old Gentoo who was standing at the side was originally listless, but at this moment, his eyes suddenly flashed endlessly. While talking, he put his hands together in front of him, and the sound of breathing was particularly strong. This feeling was extremely real from the beginning to the end. There is an inexplicable sense of reality. This time this sense of reality will only become more intense. Divine body. Fang Fan groaned, and then raised his eyebrows. This must be a lie. If there is anything unusual about Xiao Liyulai, it is that she is Fang Fan's third female slave, and she helped Fang Fan open the third female slave, that's all. Perhaps it was also because of this relationship that the sanctuary thunder tribulation appeared so strange. The intensity of the thunder that day has even surpassed the demigod level. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes secretly, and suddenly had some speculations in his heart. The Hell Three-Headed Dog and the others directly raised their cultivation level to the 6-star sanctuary realm because they survived these added sanctuary thunder disasters. Ordinary pinnacle quasi-sages would only be promoted to 1-star sanctuary realm after passing through the sanctuary thunder tribulation, but the Hell Three-Headed Dog and the others had been promoted to a full 5 levels more. The biggest difference between Xiao Liyulai's tribulation this time and the last time is that the reason why Tian Li became furious last time was because of the help of a semi-god level powerhouse like Shui Wanren to resist, so Tian Li's fury is only natural. But this time when Xiao Liyulai was crossing the tribulation, she was suddenly targeted by the boundless sky thunder. Fang Fan secretly squinted his eyes, and all kinds of thoughts suddenly exploded in his mind. If this is the case, a lot can be explained. 4-star sanctuary. Still improving. Fang Fan muttered to himself, the corners of his mouth raised silently. Xiao Liyulai belongs to him, she becomes stronger, and Fang Fan will naturally benefit a lot. Unbelievable. I've never seen a thunder tribulation in the transition sanctuary advance several levels in a row. Monster. Monster. Little girl, would you like to be my apprentice? From now on, you will be my personal disciple, and I will do my best to train you. Lao Zhen rubbed his hands together, while talking, his head moved up and down one after another. Seeing Lao Zhentu in such a state, Xiao Liyulai was somewhat frightened, and immediately turned around and hugged Fang Fan.